What's going on, everyone? I'm back here with another video, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a full review of the newly released iOS 8.3, which I believe was released yesterday. And the device that I'm going to be using for this video is an iPhone 5S, 16 gigabyte. Yes, this update does include several new features as well as much needed bug fixes. Let's go ahead and get started with the new features that are included. So, first one is a brand new redesigned emoji keyboard that includes over 300 new icons. So that's quite unique and interesting. So if we go into the keyboard and click the emoji icon, as you can see now, there is a completely redesigned look of the emoji keyboard. And it does include now a continuous scrolling feature, so you can continuously scroll through all of the categories and icons that are available. So as you can see here, you just continuously scroll and it'll just go through every single icon that is currently available. And you can also still select tabs manually. So we have recent, people, nature, food and drink, celebration, activity, travel and places, and objects and symbols. So pretty cool. Now the tabs for the icons down here are quite small, so it's, as you could tell, I kept accidentally hitting the wrong one, so that's kind of an issue I've been having, but not very big. Also, another little thing with the emojis is the fact that since this is 8.3 and it includes the support for Apple Watch, you now get this new little Apple Watch icon for those of you that would like to use that. So pretty cool that that is in there as well. So anyway, that is the brand new emoji keyboard in iOS 8.3. Quite interesting, and I actually think I'm going to be using it quite a lot. Okay, so moving on, is these next two features include the Messages application. And the first one is the ability to filter out messages that are not from your contacts. So if we go into settings, and if you go over here into the messages settings and scroll all the way down right here, as you can see, we now have a switch for filter unknown senders. And basically what that does is filters out any numbers that are not in your contact list. So you'll get a tab at the very top of the screen in the Messages app allowing you to switch between your contacts and then unknown senders that are from people, of course, that you do not know. So that's a pretty nice feature. And of course, like I said, it is a switch, so you can turn that on and off if you prefer whether or not to have it on or off. So it gives you some options there. The next one is in the actual app itself, and it is the ability to report junk messages. So as you can see here, we now have a little blue report junk button. And what that'll do is report the message thread. I believe it's either reported to Apple or it's reported to your carrier. I'm not entirely sure on that, but whichever the case is, it will report to either one of those and will basically determine whether or not this message is spam or not, and it will delete it from your phone permanently, so you do not have to worry about it anymore. So really nice feature. It's going to be nice for those of us that end up getting a lot of spam in our messages, so that's nice that that is there. The next one is iCloud Photo Library now works with the brand new Photos app in OS X Yosemite. And as we all know, the new Photos app in Yosemite has been released with 10.10.3. So the iCloud Photo Library on iOS now works perfectly fine with the new Photos app. So that's nice. And is also the iCloud library is also out of beta, so it is now in the public stage essentially. So it's no longer in beta form, which is nice. Next up is an added italic and underline keys to the landscape keyboard on the iPhone 6 Plus. So if you own an iPhone 6 Plus and you turn it into landscape, you'll know that there are several new key options on the keyboard. So now italic and underline are ones that have been added. So that's nice. And last but not least in the new features is the ability to remove shipping and billing addresses from Apple Pay. So this is something that I have that's been a quite big issue for me, and that is, of course, I couldn't remove the billing address from Apple Pay, and it was really frustrating. So really nice that 8.3 now allows us to do that. So really good. Okay, those were the new features, or the major new features included in 8.3. These next areas here are improvements to performance. So essentially, overall app performance has been improved. App responsiveness has been improved as well. Control Center has been improved, so it's going to be much more quick to open and more snappy to use, as well as Safari tabs is going to be much more reliable. Same thing with third-party keyboards, as well as keyboard shortcuts. So all of those aspects of 8.3 have now been improved and will be, or should be, rather, much more reliable than it was in 8.2. Okay, so now I'm gonna be going over just some of the bug fixes that are included. Okay, so the first grouping of bug fixes include Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So the first one is a fix for an issue where you could be continuously asked to log in with your Wi-Fi password. I actually did not encounter that at all, but for those of you that did encounter that, that is now fixed. This next one is an incredibly huge bug fix in my opinion, and I bet most of us will be very, very happy about it, and that is the fact that the infamous Wi-Fi issue has now been fixed. So essentially, Wi-Fi would be disconnected randomly at really, really odd times, and you basically the Wi-Fi connection will be dropped. So that has now been fixed, so we should have a consistent Wi-Fi connection from here on out. So that is incredibly nice that that is now fixed. It's been a long time coming, but it's now finally here. Next is a fix for an issue where hands-free phone calls could become disconnected. That is a Bluetooth issue, and now that's fixed. And lastly, there's a fix for an issue where audio playback would stop working with Bluetooth speakers, and that has now been fixed as well. So very, very nice improvements to the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth area. These next grouping of fixes include orientation and rotation on the iPhone as well, namely on the iPhone 6 Plus, because the 6 Plus can rotate in several different orientations. First one is a fix for an issue that sometimes would prevent the rotation back to portrait after rotating into landscape. So I've actually encountered that, so I'm not glad that that's fixed. Next is an improvement to performance and stability that occurred when rotating the device between portrait and landscape. So sometimes the orientation would be glitchy and just not smooth, so that's nice. Next is a fix for an issue where device orientation would sometimes be upside down after pulling your phone out of your pocket on the 6 Plus. So if you pulled your phone out of your pocket upside down and you went to turn the screen on, basically your home screen would be upside down when it shouldn't be, which is kind of weird. And I did encounter that a couple times, but wasn't too major. Okay, so next up we have fixes to messages, and this one improves or addresses an issue that caused group messages to be split. Next is a fix that sometimes removed the ability to forward or delete individual messages, so that has now been fixed as well. Very nice. Next up we have fixes for CarPlay. So basically there has been an array of fixes to CarPlay in Maps, the UI, as well as keyboard. So CarPlay should be more reliable now as well. Next is accessibility fixes. So there's been several fixes in accessibility. First one would be an issue where using the back button in Safari would cause voiceover gestures to not respond. So that's nice that that's fixed. Next is an issue where voiceover would become unreliable in draft mail messages. So that was a little tiny issue. I wouldn't say that was major. And then next up we have overall improvements to the general operating system. And that is first being the improved pronunciation of street names in turn-by-turn directions in maps. There's now support for the display of spotlight results when reduced transparency is turned on. There has also been a wide range of additional languages that have been added. So that is for Siri as well. So Siri should be able to speak in several different new languages. It also improves the stability for the phone, mail, Bluetooth connectivity, photo, Safari tabs, settings, weather, and Genius playlists in music. So all of those aspects should be greatly improved and should be more reliable. There is now also a fix where sometimes the slide to unlock would fail. So essentially you would try to slide your lock screen to unlock, and basically it would fail and wouldn't work correctly. So now that should be fixed and no longer be happening. Then we have a fix for an issue that would sometimes prevent swiping to answer a phone call on the lock screen, and I actually did encounter this one. So basically, sometimes if you want to slide to answer a phone call from the lock screen, basically it wouldn't let you do it. Kind of glitch out, and essentially for me personally it would freeze. So I'm glad that that is fixed. Next we have a fix for an issue where maps did not enter night mode when it was in hybrid mode. So that's nice. Next up, we have a couple more here. Oops, got a big reminder. Okay. But yeah, we have just a couple more here. Next one is a fix for an issue that would sometimes prevent an iPad backup from completing with iTunes, which that was actually another one that I encountered, which was a huge pain, and I must tell you. Okay, lastly, we have a fix for an issue that would cause the status bar to appear when it shouldn't. So essentially, for me, the place that I encountered that was in the camera app. And essentially, when I would rotate the camera, inside the camera app, for example, if I were to rotate it like so, I would see the status bar across the top, and normally it shouldn't be there. And it was kind of annoying because it would kind of just get in the way at times. So, I'm very happy that that is now gone. And basically, that's it. So, that's basically the majority of new features and bug fixes in iOS 8.3. There are several more bug fixes that I could go over, but it's just too many to cover in this video. It would end up making the video like 30 minutes long, and I really don't want to do that. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button right down there. Also hit that like button as well. It's much appreciated. And if you guys have any questions or comments about iOS 8.3, or just have any general comments, I'll leave those in the section below and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. So yes, once again, hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.